Right then. So, how's it going, my Lemony disciples? I am Grandmaster Lemon, and welcome to Rodina. This is a lovely little space exploration game, and basically the only thing that's tiding me over until No Man's Sky as far as the realistic side of space simulators goes. So yeah, it's fucking lovely, and I'm going to start a freeform game, because this game does have a story, but I'm not gonna bother with it right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and spawn in. Also, as is the usual case with things, the music is fucking loud right now, even though it is really lovely music. I can't stand that sort of volume. I'm gonna pick up my controller right now and start playing with that so I don't accidentally whip myself into an asteroid again. Anyway, yeah, this is Rodina. I guess apparently it's gotten some updates, quite a few updates rather. I saw something just in the Steam, in my Steam library in the news section. I saw something about wandering robots and stuff, so I'm just gonna take a look at some of this stuff that we have here. So yeah, I did start right in the spaceship, but it is, whoops. It is not just spaceship only. There is some little first-person wandering, and also I can modify my ship's layout. And in doing this, I am going to load up an older version, or my main version rather, the layout that I've had for a very long time now. It has undergone some minor edits, but those edits basically just extend to, you know, having the holodeck tile set and whatnot. So yeah, and I'm going to be playing it in first person as opposed to third. It's still very loud. But yeah, I'm not, again, this is not going to be me explaining very much. This is really just sort of me playing a game that I want to play because I like playing games that I want to play. It's surprisingly fun. More people should try it. I am really going to turn this music down though. That'll do. There we go. And now I do sort of want to know where I am, whereabouts I am in this solar system. So yeah, similar to Outer Wilds, this is just one solar system. But unlike Outer Wilds, as you'll see, the planets are a bit larger, even if that does make them slightly less interesting to explore than some of the Outer Wilds things. This one doesn't have any sort of interesting time looping mechanic or anything like that, like Outer Wilds did. This is very much just fly around little solar system and have some fun. As you can see, though, the solar system is already much bigger than Outer Wilds. Again, even if it is a little bit more empty than Outer Wilds. So yeah. So this is personally my favorite of all of the, I think, 5 different planets that there are. Just because it's nice and warm and lovely and freaking just, yeah, it's nice. It's a good planet. There's a T cross bit piece over here. Over here, aha. So these are like little points of interests. Well, interest singular, that is, that you can go down to and interact with, and I'm going to do that thing. I'm coming in coming in wicked fast. So, what? Okay, music's having a bit of a glitch. So yeah, entering the atmosphere, you get this like little mini game of, here we are. Little bit of a mini game of entering the atmosphere, coming down onto the planet. Basically, the whole point is you try to keep this little nose area where all the burning stuff seems to be coming off of. You want to keep that aimed towards the planet, but you also want to keep yourself moving slowly enough that you don't start burning up and catching on fire and stuff. So yeah. And now here I am chilling about on the planet. Now I can fly around and have a bit of an explore. So as you can see, this game is fucking huge. It's like, my god. See, the thing I love about like the space exploration genre as it is currently is that it's one of the few genres where you have just huge amounts of variation. Like you've got Outer Wilds, which is just full of content. And there's so much to do, so much to explore. It actually just got an update recently. So it's still not quite at launch yet, but it's the update that they've given it is like it's got so much more polish and stuff than the version that I just did a video on last week, or the last week that I actually made videos. That is, slow myself down a bit here. Then you've got something like this, which is just huge, but there's not really all that much in it as far as interesting things go. Like all the planets are the planets really tend to blend together, in my opinion, with like, you know, they're all just sort of they're all just sort of like a topology equation that somebody's plugged in with, and they've all got a different color scheme. You know, it's that sort of thing. Whereas you've also got something like, but at the same time they've put a lot of like painstaking detail into the writing here. So if I come over here to this data stick here, we can see local woman wins 15th annual culinary competition, and you can read that, and a lot of these are really interesting reads. Like there's this one that's like an interview with the person who developed the interstellar drive in your ship, and this guy is interviewing the guy, and the guy just goes on this tangent about how the toilet hasn't been innovated in however many hundreds of years. So it's just really sort of interesting in its there we go. It's really interesting in its writing, but perhaps not quite so much in what there actually is to do on the planet. Whereas Outer Wilds had lots of stuff to find and whatnot, because it's a really small scale thing, and it's very specifically designed for those moments where you find the thing in the cave on the Hourglass Twins, and you're like, whoa, this is so freaking cool. And then you've got something like No Man's Sky, which is coming out, which is going to have a lot more stuff, but it sort of like Rodina is. It's not quite as specifically designed in its in what's actually going to be there, purely because it's so freaking huge. Like, it's planning on being a whole galaxy, where Rodina has already, they've already decided that they're going to make the game incredibly empty because of how big just this one solar system is. Granted, that's also sort of the aesthetic that they're going for. They want to make this the sort of lone wanderer thing. They want to give you this sense of loneliness in the world, whereas No Man's Sky is looking to be not quite so much that, and more, slightly more interconnected, but at the same time, I guess they're going more for the realism angle. This one's going more for the loneliness angle, and Outer Wilds is going more for the well-designed sliver of just absolute goodness. So having just these three things within the same basic genre of space exploration, but then having such a huge amount of variation between those three games, it's really cool. I guess the space exploration genre is really the frontier of gaming, which sort of makes it sort of makes sense, because it's all about being on the frontier of space, the final frontier, and that's really fucking cool. Because you get like those, you have your games like Asura's Wrath and Heavy Rain and all that are all like, they're all sort of story focused and stuff, and the gameplay really doesn't vary between any of that sort of game. It's all very sort of QTE nonsense, and the only thing that's different is the aesthetic. You've got Asura's Wrath being just batshit crazy, and Heavy Rain being a drama, and Beyond Two Souls being a supernatural thing. Whereas, the space exploration genre there's proper variation. Nobody really knows what gameplay makes a good space sim. Because even Kerbals, that has, I guess you could count that in the same boat of space exploration as something like Rodina or Outer Wilds or that sort of thing, and Kerbals is a completely different experience, but it's still technically a space exploration game, because you are exploring space, even though you're sort of building your own spaceship and whatnot. It's certainly nowhere near as much of a personal sort of space experience as something like this, because this is in first person, and Kerbals is very much not. What's this? Remarks made during the funeral of Florian Fyodorov. This is made by a German bloke, from what I can tell as well, because, all the names are German, and I think Rodina in itself is a German word. But anyway, it's really cool to be here at sort of the forefront of gaming technology, the real innovation of game design. It's not just sort of the same thing with a different skin draped over it like so many other games are these days. I guess it's really cool that this sort of genre is being dominated by the indie scene, or that the indie scene has conceived of this sort of game. You know? It's... I guess because the whole indie side of things is all about innovating gameplay and sort of coming up with really new, cool, with really cool new ideas. And Jesus, that's coming up fast. All right then. I don't like this planet very much. It's pretty much Jarilo, but more gross. Anyway, but yeah, basically the, something about words. Because the whole indie scene is all about, like, innovating gameplay and that sort of thing, and that's really fucking cool. Oh, there's a fire. Okay, there is a fire happening, and the ship is dead. The ship is just straight up dead right now. Guess I couldn't get to the fire soon enough. Abandon ship! Down it goes. Jesus. Anyway, that happened. But yeah, because the whole indie scene is all about sort of like innovating gameplay and all that sort of really cool stuff, and I think that's really why this sort of thing came to be, and honestly, I'm digging the shit out of it. I mean, look at what just happened. My ship caught on fire, I abandoned ship, and now I'm falling through the atmosphere, and I'm going to now be stranded on a planet. Which is something like straight out of a sci-fi film. I mean, that's basically the plot of The Martian. That, friggin' Matt Damon movie that's coming out. Couldn't remember the guy's name for a second there. That's kind of sad. Well, at least I didn't mishear it as Mark, which is a very Tommy Wiseau thing to do. But yeah. The music for this game is fucking beautiful too. Like, I think that's the one thing that all of these space exploration games have really, like, all have really gotten right, is the music. Because, I mean, No Man's Sky is gonna be just 65 days of static music, and this is this sort of music. I've actually been sort of listening to, because the composer of these songs has been doing a little bit of a podcasty sort of thing that I've been listening to. He's yeah, so I've been listening to that podcast a little bit, just him talking about the game's music, and like the sort of design concepts that he put behind the friggin' music, which is cool. Outer Wilds music was amazing. Kerbal's music is what it is. It's not exactly the most brilliant thing ever, but it's still pretty lovely and plinky-plunky and whatnot. So yeah, these have all really got really good music, which I suppose you really need to have when you're in space where everything is pretty much just silence, you know? So yeah. And there is the wreck of my ship. Poor thing. Poor thing. Well, there goes my space boner. Anyway, I think that'll be the end of this then. If you enjoyed the video, then, you know, I know this was really rambly compared to some of my other stuff that I've done in the past, but, you know, can't be helped. So, it's just, you know, because I have such a passion for, especially for space exploration games. Well, for exploration games in general, I love being able to just go around and do whatever I want, you know. That's why I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky, because I think No Man's Sky is gonna... What the hell? Okay, that's... What the... Okay, alright, apparently the game has decided to not unpause itself. That was weird. Yeah, that's why I'm really excited about No Man's Sky, because What the fuck? That's why I'm really excited about No Man's Sky, because that really seems to be, like, one of the first games that is going to be... I think one of the first games that will really give me... Well, that'll really give everyone, like, just a true sense of just do whatever the fuck you want, or at least the first one since Minecraft, you know? So that's cool. My flashlight is not having a fun time on this planet. But yeah, it's just, I've got such a passion for exploration games, and space exploration games are just the pinnacle of exploration, because there's just so much to see, so much to do, so forgive me for taking the back streets, so what's wrong with taking the back streets, rather. Fuck, I can't even get Smash Mouth lyrics right. That's how inept I am at life right now. Anyway, rambling aside, have a glorious day and an even better tomorrow, my Lemony disciples, and, see you in the next thing. Auf Wiedersehen!